Hey everyone, this is Prince Watercress, and welcome back to Let's Play King's Quest V for NES. In the last episode, we went through the desert and took care of some business there. And we also saw Madame Mushka. And we find out that the plot thickens as soon as we meet her. Now we need to go to the Dark Forest in order to take care of some more business before we can head on to the mountains and hopefully confront Mordak. So here we are at the Dark Forest. Go through the north entrance. Cedric will wait for us here because he's too scared to go in there. And the first thing you want to do is to go east. This witch will appear and shoot this spell at you. If you do not have the amulet equipped, you will be turned into a frog and the game will kill you. If you did put the amulet on, you'll be saved from the spell, but you'll still have to deal with the witch. Believe it or not, you can talk to the witch, who tells you that you're trespassing on her forest, even though it's probably not her forest. Nevertheless, she considers herself the ruler of the fortress, and she probably knows the way out of here. And of course, she's not finding out how we stopped her from turning us into a frog. When we asked her for a way out, she tells us we're stuck. But King Graham says, we'll see about that. And the witch sarcastically agrees. Now, as you move to the forest after you've been saved from being turned into a frog by the amulet, the witch is going to follow you everywhere. And if you keep talking to her, you'll just get the same dialogue that you got from her the first time. And even after you meet up with her a second time, this music will keep playing and she'll still follow you everywhere. And when we go back to where the entrance to the forest is supposed to be, we're on a completely different screen. To the north of this screen is the house, which I'm assuming is the witch's house, but we can't be able to get in there unless we get the witch out of the way. How do we do that? Well, if you played through the game through trial and error, you'll find out that this bottle is the key. What you have to do is select the bottle in the inventory and put the cursor on the witch and press A. Now, if you used the bottle yourself, the genie would have trapped you in this bottle, but because the witch opened it this time, she's the one trapped. The bottle disappears. The witch won't be seen for a very long time. All that's left to do now is to get out of this forest. But we need to go into the house first. There are three things we need to do. The first one is to use the hand on this lamp. There's a little shiny thing in there if you wait long enough and you'll see it glisten. Inside that lamp is a key. The second thing to do is to open the drawer below the lamp. Inside you'll find a little spinning wheel which Graham will automatically take. And now the third thing is to go up to this gray drawer right here on the left side of the witch's house, to the left of the tree, and use the hand and select the cursor on it and press A. Graham will open up the drawer and find 3 beautiful emeralds. In the PC version it was a pouch. But we're still going to be using the emeralds nonetheless. Now, before we go to the west, we need to go back to the east, because we saw a little door there that we couldn't really access even with the witch around. And now that we have this tiny brass key that we found in the witch's house, we can open it. If you try to open it without the key, the game will tell you it's securely locked. And by opening this door with the key, you'll find a little golden heart. This is the heart of the princess that was changed into the Weeping Willow. So go ahead and take the heart. Although those spikes to the left, they will kill you if you walk into them, so don't even bother. Now we can go to the west. And we've basically found all of the things that we need to get. Almost go east from here, but I believe that leads you back to the witch's house, I think. So what you need to do here is select a honeycomb and use it on the floor. King Graham will move to a spot close to the boulder on the left side of the screen and squeeze the honey out of the honeycomb. From there, use the emerald or emeralds on the little spot of honey that you just made in the ground. You'll have to do this 3 times, and every time you use it, you'll get this little person closer and closer to you. On the 3rd emerald, this little person will step in the honey and get trapped. Graham will pick him up, and the little person will ask you to let him go. Graham wants to know why he should let him go, and ask what he will do for him. Turns out this little person will show you the way out of the forest if you let him go. Graham wants to know how he can trust him, but the little person tells you, "You have my word, an elf never breaks his word." Graham lets him go against his better judgment, and he helps us get out. Turns out this boulder to the left side of the screen was actually a creature, and this creature moves out of the way. All we have to do now is follow the elf into this hole here. To get in the hole, all you have to do is go all the way to the left. You'll have to go a little bit upwards as well as you're doing that, so that way Graham will automatically center himself and get into the hole. You'll get this little cutscene where King Graham is crawling around underground, and you'll eventually end up in this cavern that is located somewhere underground. The elf will tell you to come talk to him for a brief moment, and gives you these shoes in exchange for the emeralds. These shoes that we're going to get here are going to prove very useful a little later. We're going to be using them very soon. He also tells you to follow the passage to the right to get out of the dark forest. And with that passage, we finally have our way out, because once you get into the dark forest and meet the witch, you won't be able to get out of the dark forest the same way you came in. King Graham thanks the elf and waves goodbye, and then heads into the tunnel, and he crawls his way to the other side. We finally make our way above ground. We push this log out of the way, and Cedric is glad to see you back. I keep calling him Cedric and Cedric interchangeably. Nevertheless, we are out of the dark forest. We still have a few things left to do before we can go to the mountains. One screen left to here, to the west, is the Weeping Willow. We finally have her golden heart, so let's go ahead and go to the inventory and select the heart, which is made of pure gold. Let's go ahead and give it to the Weeping Willow. The music of the harp stops. The weeping willow takes her heart back, and she is human again. She finally meets with the young man we met sitting on the log in the last video. And then they walk off as the princess tells him her story about what happened and everything. Not even so much as the thank you. Nevertheless, she does leave the harp behind. Let's go ahead and pick it up with the hand. And one screen west of here is what used to be Madame Mushka's fortune-telling wagon. It is gone now. And in its place is a tambourine. This is why I went here earlier in the last video expecting something to happen, expecting them to be gone, but they weren't. Apparently you have to get through the dark forest first in order to get the tambourine. Now, one screen west of where we met the young man looking for the woman, as well as one screen to the east of the anthill, is the only place we have yet to have went to in Serenia. It's a small house with a dwarf and his son, actually his grandson. Grandson's playing with the marionette. If you talk to him, if you talk to the grandfather rather, King Graham will ask about the marionette and ask if there is a way to get him and his grandson to part with it, even if it's possible to buy it outright. The grandfather says that the price would be steep if we were able to buy it, and we probably wouldn't be able to afford it. But we do have this spinning wheel, which appears to be a small, ordinary spinning wheel. Give it to this guy, and I'll ask where you found it. Graham will go ahead and tell them, oh, I just found it in the old witch's house in the dark forest. Turns out, the spinning wheel was indeed his, as he tells you that this isn't an ordinary spinning wheel. Turns out, the spinning wheel can spin straw into gold, a reference to Rumpelstiltskin. He thanks you for bringing the spinning wheel back, but Graham wants the marionette in exchange. We get the marionette in exchange for the spinning wheel, and the dwarf, or the gnome actually, I don't know why I keep calling him a dwarf. The gnome and his grandson walk off. We'll never see them again. I don't know why I kept calling him the dwarf. I just now realized he was a gnome. I just remember that Rumpelstiltskin was a gnome. Old throwback to the older games, which had references to fairy tales for puzzles. There's the inn. We're not going over there yet. Instead, we're heading back into town because we still have a few more things that we can do. And since we have went through the dark forest and found some things, we can actually take care of those things now. First, I'm going back to the toy maker's store because I forgot to mention something while I was here. There is a sled all the way over here on the right side of the room. I believe there is a way to get Graham to talk to the toy maker about the sled, but I forgot how to do it, and I was never able to pull it off in the video. And whenever I talked to him, I just got the same thing as last time, so I just sped through all this conversation again. In order to get the sled, you need to go to the inventory, Apparently you can't. Yeah, I tried to get the toy maker to talk about the sled, but I couldn't. Anyway, all you need to do is just go to the inventory, select the marionette, move the cursor onto the toy maker, and press A. The toy maker will take a huge interest into the marionette that you got it from a gnome. Here's where the game tells you that Rumpelstiltskin, or whatever his name is a gnome, that guy we gave the spinning wheel to. Toy maker asks if we can have the marionette. Graham says it's a deal if I get the sled in exchange. Toy maker feels he's getting a better deal because he can always make another sled, but the marionette is of such fine quality he feels he may never see anything like it again. So he agrees. We get thanked for bringing in the marionette, and Graham gets to take the sled. We get this conversation again. I just sped through it because we saw that in part 1. Now, about those shoes that we got from the elf. Let's go back to the cobblers. They still don't have any shoes for sale, but we can give them some shoes that they can sell. Just go to the inventory, select the shoes, the finest pair of shoes Graham has ever seen, although a bit small for his feet, and give it to the guy on the right. The man will look at the shoes. Leather is soft and pliable, but the shoes are still of fine quality. And the buckle is also solid gold. He comes to the conclusion that he can retire off the sale of the shoes, which are of such good quality that he may never find another one, probably, another pair. Both of the cobblers thank you. And because the two cobblers, let alone the one on the right, can retire off the sale of the shoes because they're worth so much, this guy gives you his cobbler's hammer. So now we have another item that we're definitely going to be needing for our adventure. And there's not much else left we can do. However, we do have to go to the inn. And that will have to wait until the next video. So join me next time where I go into the inn and probably try to figure out why the innkeeper there is a jerk, because, well, we've heard that he's a jerk, but we haven't seen him firsthand yet. Until then, this is Prince Watercress. Take care, stay safe, and thanks for watching!